Hey guys, welcome back to React Cheat Sheet. This is part 6. So this video we will learn about hooks. Okay, so hooks basically are the function that allow you to hook into React state and lifecycle feature from the function component. So hooks always start with use prefix. Okay, I will show you in a minute, and also it must be invoked in React functional component only. All right, so here we have the text. Just print out, you click 0 times. All right, so let's just have a quick look here. Okay, so this is what it's showing, and now let's start writing React hooks. Okay, so here you can see I have imported the useState from React. All right, so useState is a hook that let you to manage the state in a functional component. So to use this, first we basically import it on top here, and inside the app component we need to declare counts, and then we want to set the count. Okay, so basically this is the counter, and we can now start using the useState that we declare here, right? And by default, let's just set this to 0. Okay, so it starts from number 0. And to use this, right, and down here we can just start writing, it can be a button, right, using it with the on click event. So on clicked, and this is the arrow function. We can start using the set count. So every time that we click on the button, then the number increases. Okay, so here inside the set count, we're going to use the count here. So count plus 1. Basically, when we click on that, the number increase from 0 to 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. Okay, and we just call the button as click me, right? And down right here we need to also change it as well. So instead of number 0, it need to be dynamic. So here we can just start using the curly bracket, and we call the count. All right, so now let's just have a look. Okay, so here is so far it say 0 time, but when I click on this, it increase, right? So every time I click on it, the number increases. So this is using the useState. It changes the state, right? So when I click on this, it change one state, another, right, and more like this. So this is using the useState. So next I want to show you is to use the useEffect. So useEffect is also a popular hooks as well, besides using the useState. So useEffect is a hook that let you access the lifecycle method in a functional component. Okay, so right here inside the app component, we can start writing useEffect. So this is also using the arrow function as well. And before we can use the useEffect here, make sure you need to import this as well. So it automatically import when I write this, right? And inside the useEffect, just to show you quickly using the console log. So in this console log, let's just say this initialize. Okay, simple as that. And say if we render this the first time, right, it will show us this one here. And we are not done yet. So here we need to also write an empty array. So this runs during the mount only. So every time that we reload the page, it runs only once. All right, so this is what it does. Now let's compile this and then have a look. So I'll use the inspect console, right? So you can see it say initialize. Let me just refresh the page. And the reason you see like saying initialize twice, this is because we are now using it in the dev environment. That's why it's showing us twice. But in the production, it only shows once. But how do we fix this in the dev if we want to only have it shown once? What you can do is open the index.js, and you can see here, right, in the production, run once. In the dev, it render twice to detect any problem in the code. Okay, So we can just uncomment this out, but before that, let's just quickly coming back here just to show you one more thing. So inside the useEffect, we can also write the return here as well. Here we just say clean up, okay, as simple as that. So the clean up here, the inside return here, it runs before the component is unmounted. So let me just show you what I mean by that. Now I have saved the code and refresh this, and here take a look. First it initialize and then it clean up, right? But if we only want it to run once, we can disable this strict mode, okay? So it means that it only render once. Now let's have a look again. Let me refresh this, and you can see it's showing only initialize, but it's not showing the cleanup, right? So basically the step is first it show the initialize, and then it clean up everything inside this return, okay? Now what happened, okay, if I say click on the button, right, and want to increase it every time using it with the useEffects? How do I do that? So if, okay, imagine right now I want to show the count, right, inside this useEffects. So we'll just say you clicked, and this is a number of time, right? So count time, but because we are using it with the count, we have to change this to this symbol here with the $sign, okay? So we want to show the number of time when I click on this. What happened when we do that right now? So refresh this, click on this button. You can see it actually showing nothing inside the console log, but this one here we can just put this, we can just remove this for now, okay? And you can see it actually showing nothing, right? So this is because we are using the empty array. When we click on the button, the state change, but then it is not changing, or it's not calling this in the useEffects at all. So how do we fix this problem? Well, we just need to write another useEffect, okay? So quickly write one here, and inside this useEffect, instead of using it with the empty array, right, we can use the count, okay? And inside this useEffect, we can now do the same thing. Let's just quickly copy this part here and get rid of this, okay? So now let's have a look. So the code here, what it does, when we click on the button, this useEffect, right, with the not empty array, the array with the count inside here, it run every time, okay, when the count, the state changes. Now let's have a look again. Refresh this. Here initialize, you click 0 time, okay, so this is the default, and when I click on the click me and as seen here, it is calling that useEffect every time, right? And the number, it increases because the state changes, okay? So yep, this is the useEffect. This one here with the empty array, it only run once, and this one here, right, it run every time when we call it, when the state changes. This, in this case, we are using it with the button with the on click event, and it is changing, all right, keep increasing, so it call this every time. So yep, that is the useEffects. Basically, again, it's a hook that let us to access the lifecycle method in the functional component. So every time that the page load, right, it call this one. This is the first thing that it does. And inside here, the return, it will just clean up. So what if, okay, I enable this again and see what happened, okay? I'll do the same thing. Refresh this. First it initialize, and then it go to the, you click 0 time, and then it clean up. Okay, so it's supposed to be only this, right? But then because we enable the strict mode, that's why it runs twice. And when I click on this, okay, it showing us a list here, right? It keep console log the result. So yeah, I hope you learn a lot from these hooks. So this is only the first part of using hooks. There are more video on how to use the React hook as well. So in this video, we have looked at the useState hooks and also useEffects. And I'll see you guys in the next video.